Good morning, students. Welcome to the lecture. Now, before starting, let me just take the attendance based on the participants list. Okay, so let's start the lecture. It is uh, now 11:33, and almost 50 students have joined. So we'll start the lecture. Okay. Just remember that I will be taking attendance at the beginning of the lecture. Okay. Then Milind Patil sir will be taking attendance in the middle of the lecture anytime, and then again I will be taking attendance at the end of the lecture. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's start with the lecture. So yesterday we studied two terms, that is delta of a crop and duty of water. So what is delta of crop? The total depth of water in centimeter required by a crop to come to maturity is called its delta. Okay. Then next we saw duty of water. So what is duty of water? So the term duty means the area of land that can be irrigated with unit volume of irrigation water. Okay. And finally, the main important definition is duty is defined as the area of land expressed in hectares that can be irrigated with unit discharge, that is 1 cubic or 1 meter cube per second flowing throughout the base period expressed in days. Okay, so a unit discharge of 1 meter cube per second flowing throughout the base period of crop. Okay, so the amount, okay, or the area of land that continuous unit discharge will irrigate, okay, that is known as the duty. Okay, and it is denoted by capital D. Now next we saw the relationship between duty and delta. Okay, So what is the relation between delta and duty? Delta is equal to 8.64 B upon D, that is in meters, where delta is the total depth of water, B is the base period of the crop, okay, and its unit is days, and capital D is duty, okay, and its unit is hectare per cumex. And if we convert meters into centimeters, the formula is delta is equal to 864 B upon D. Okay. Then we solved one problem on it. Today we will solve some other problems. But before that, yesterday we had to stop abruptly, okay, due to connectivity issues. So just I will take that point. Now, as I was saying to you yesterday, uh, if the water requirement of a particular crop at a location is more, then lesser number of hectares of land it will irrigate. Okay, so that means if you are providing, sorry, so that means if you are providing 1 meter cube per second a continuous discharge, okay, to a field which contains sugarcane and to another field which contains a wheat crop. Now you will see that the number of or the amount of area of the sugarcane field that the unit discharge can cover is very less as compared to that of the wheat crop, because sugarcane crop consumes an individual sugarcane crops consumes more amount of water for its growth as compared to a individual wheat crop. Okay, as so with respect to sugarcane, as a single individual sugarcane crop will consume more amount. Okay, so the area of the land of the sugarcane field that can be irrigated with a unit discharge will be less. But if you consider wheat crop, as the individual wheat crop will consume less water, okay, so the unit discharge that we are providing, it will be able to cover more or more area, okay, or more amount of the field of the wheat crop. So we can say that if water consumed by a crop of a given base period is more, its duty will be less. Okay, and just remember what is duty. It is hectare per cumex. Okay, hectare per cumex, that is the area of the field in hectares, okay, per meter cube per second, okay, or per discharge. So uh, the if water consumed by crop is more, less amount of area will be covered by the water. Now lastly I was showing you this basic irrigation. This is known as the direct irrigation system. Okay, so what is direct irrigation system? It is the system in which we do not store water. Okay, what we do is we divert the water from the river to the canal and ultimately to the agricultural fields. Okay, so if you see the setup here, in a river, okay, this is the flow direction. We have constructed a weir or a barrage. Okay, what does weir or a barrage do? It helps raise the level of water, and when the level of water has been raised to a sufficient height, okay, that water will then enter the artificial canal that we have built. Okay, now here this is known as canal head regulator. In the canal head regulator, we control the amount of water that will be entering through the canal, okay, through the mouth of the canal. This is the mouth of the canal. So through canal head regulator we will control the amount of water that will be entering the main canal. And the other property or other function of canal head regulator is that it prevents the entrance of silt into the canal from the rivers. Okay, so the water enters the main canal from which it will enter a branch canal, and through the branch canal water will enter different distributary canals, okay, which are provided to different areas, and from distributary areas the water will enter into minor canals, okay, and from the minor canals the water will, okay, enter the fields through the water course or field channel, okay. Now please
ठीक है, लैंड केबल है क्या? लैंड केबल है?
roll number 74, please mute yourself. So so when the water enters the main canal, okay, uh, now on the field the discharge, roll number 74, okay. So can you hear me now, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on the field when the river water enters the main canal, the discharge that is kept, okay, which is kept constant in the main canal, it is between 60 meter cube per second to 90 meter cube per second, okay. Now main canal, okay, water from the main canal enters different branch canals, okay. Now one branch canal will be for the purpose of irrigation, another branch canal may be constructed here, it may be constructed with the purpose of providing water to a uh, water to provide water supply to a city or a town, okay. Another branch canal will be provided to provide water for some other purpose, okay. Now when the water from main canal enter the branch canal, okay, the discharge is reduced, it is uh, now somewhere between 60 meter cube per second to 30 meter cube per second. Now from the branch canal the water will enter different distributary canals where again the discharge uh, will be reduced, okay. Now here the discharge will become less than 30 meter cube per second, and from the distributary canal the water will enter minor canals. Now minor canals are provided in an area where there are a number of agricultural fields, okay, and there the discharge will be somewhere less than 2.5 meter cube per second, okay. And from the minor canals, okay, the water will enter individual fields, okay, of individual uh, farmers through the water course, or it's also known as field canal. Now as sorry, okay. Now as an irrigation engineer working in an irrigation department, or you can be working with a private company and consulting with the any state government or central government for an irrigation project. So uh, you can see the discharge in different canals is different. So we can say that the duty of water in the different canals will be also different. For example, the duty of main canal will be different, duty of branch canal will be different, duty of distributary canal will be different, and so on. Now as an irrigation engineer, okay, uh, you are concerned with construction of main canal, branch canal, distributary canal, and minor canal, okay. Now here uh, now I will just show it. This point is known as the outlet point, okay. and the water flowing through that outlet point, okay, the duty or discharge of that water is important while calculating the delta of a single crop, okay, or a single field. Now as irrigation engineer, your work finishes at this outlet, okay. The work of an irrigation engineer will be over at this outlet point. Now from this outlet point, each individual farmer will uh, dig a water course, or they will dig a field channel so that the water from the minor canals can be transported to their individual field, okay. So after this outlet point, there is no work for irrigation engineer, and the water which is calculated, okay, the amount of discharge of water which is calculated at this point is known as outlet discharge factor, okay. It is calculated through a term known as outlet discharge factor that we will study in the coming lectures. Now during the transportation of water from river to the field, there are a number of losses which take place during the transportation of water, okay, and these losses are known as transit losses, okay, losses during transportation. Now what are the different losses that will take place? So there are number of losses. Main losses are the evaporation losses and the percolation losses, okay. As these are open channels, the loss taking place due to the radiation of the sun is greater. Another, if the canals are not lined, okay, if they are not concrete lined, and if they are unlined canals, then what will happen? The percolation losses will be more. Uh, and some other losses which take place during the transportation are the stealing of water, okay. Now many farmers, what they do is they will directly steal water. They will directly dig or dig a pathway to their agricultural fields from either the branch canal, main canal, or the distributary canal, which is not legal, okay. And the losses that take place due to that stealing also come under transit losses, okay. Now I hope you have seen this, you understood this direct irrigation system, okay. Now let's solve some more problems. I'll just go to the slide, okay. This is the problem that we solved yesterday, okay. हा काल प्रॉब्लेम आपण सॉल्व केलेला आहे. Find the delta for a crop when its duty is 864 hectares per cubic on the field and the base period of the crop is 120 days. Now as we know the relation, delta in centimeter is equal to 864 b upon d. Now b is the base period, okay, and base period given in the problem is 120 days. Then duty is given as 864 hectares per cubic. So directly we will find out delta, which comes to be 120 centimeter, okay. uh, Now this next problem, okay, I expect you to solve it. Find the delta for sugarcane when the duty is 730 hectare per cubic and the base period of the crop is 110 days, okay. So start solving it and just tell me the
1.3 meter.
1.3 meters. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else?
130.19 centimeter.
Centimeter, 130.19 centimeter.
Okay, good.
130.19 centimeter.
Okay, good. So 1.3 meters is also the correct answer. 130.1, 130.19. Okay, correct answers. So delta is 130.1 centimeter. Now we will solve the next problem, that is a crop requires 900 mm of water for a base period of 120 days. Find the duty of water. Okay, so here what is given is base period 120 days it is given. Okay, and the other thing that is given is 900 mm of water. Okay, so that will mean nothing but the total depth of water, which is delta. Okay, 900 mm, which equals 90 centimeters. Okay, and you have to find out capital D. So as we know the formula, delta is equal to 864 B upon D. D will be 1152 hectares per cubic. Okay, I hope you understood. I will go to the next problem. Now this problem has come in GATE 2014. Okay, हा क्वेश्चन तुम्हाला गेट 2014 च्या एक्झामिनेशन मध्ये आलेला आहे. ओके, आणि काय नाही, फक्त बेसिक तुम्हाला लॉजिक त्याच्या मागे लावायचं आहे, जनरल नॉलेज, जास्ती काय फॉर्म्युले वगैरे नाही. सो व्हॉट इज द क्वेश्चन? वॉटर इज रिलीज्ड at the rate of 12 cubic at the head of a canal. Okay, if duty at the field is 1250 hectares per cubic and the loss of water in transit is 25%, find the area of land that can be irrigated. Okay, now here two important terms are there, which you should know. Now water is released at the rate of 12 cubic at the head of a canal. Okay, and the duty at the field is 1250 hectares per cubic. Now let me show you the diagram again that we have seen of the direct irrigation system. Okay, now it is said the discharge at the head of the canal. So this is the head of the canal where the water is diverted from the river to the canal. Okay, this is the head of the canal, and here the discharge is 12. Yes, here the discharge कोण आहे? Here the discharge is at the head of the canal, it is 12 cumex, and the duty at the field. Okay, so when it is said the duty at the field, it means the duty in the field channel. Okay, when the water of the canal, minor canal, enters the field channel. Okay, जेव्हा त्या तिथं पाण्याची जी ड्युटी असणार आहे, that is known as duty at the field. Okay, or duty at the outlet also it is known. So I'll just go back to the question. So at the head of the canal, discharge is 12 cumex, duty at the field is 1250 hectares per cubic, and the loss of water in transit, that means the loss of water during its transportation, it comes to a total of 25%. Okay, so find the area of land that can be irrigated. So we will find it out. Now here just I have written the given discharge at the canal head 12 cumecs and loss 25%. Okay, now if discharge at the canal head is 12 cumecs, okay, and if during the transportation of water from the head of the canal up to the field, okay, the total losses are 25%, then the total discharge available at the field will be, okay, it will only be 75%. Okay, it will only be 75%. So the discharge at the field will be 12 into 0.75, which comes up to 9 cumecs or 9 meter cube per second. Okay, now next given is duty at the field. Okay, duty at the field is 1250 hectares per cubic. That means for a unit discharge or for 1 cubic we can irrigate 1250 hectares. So how many hectares can we irrigate with 9 cubics or 9 meter cube per second? So it will be nothing but area irrigated is equal to 1250 per hectare. Okay, hectares per cubic into 9 cubics. Okay, so the total area which we can irrigate will be 11,250 hectares. Now as we know 1 hectare is equal to 10 raised to 4 square meters. Okay, 1 hectare is 10 raised to 4 square meters. So 11,250 hectares will be 1.125 into 10 raised to 8 square meter. Now you can convert this answer into square kilometer also. Okay, so this is the total area irrigated, and this question came in the GATE 2014 examination. So have you understood this numerical, or should
Yes,
I?
sir.
Okay, so should we go? Should we proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, Now from the next lectures, okay, that means our next lecture is on Monday. So that means from next week, we will start with canal irrigation. We will study the efficiency, different efficiencies of irrigation, and based on that, we are going to solve problems. Now for today, we will just study the duty of water, because duty is a very vast topic. Okay, and it is basic for all the other problems that we are going to solve from next week. Okay, so now we will study two different types of duty. One is the flow duty and the other is the quantity duty. Now the first is the flow duty. What is flow duty? It is the duty which is calculated in direct irrigation, and it is always expressed in hectares per cubic. Okay, now what is direct irrigation? That I have shown you, where water is not stored, it is diverted. Okay, so this diagram that I have shown you, that is an example of direct irrigation, and in this direct irrigation system duty will always be expressed in hectares per cubic. Okay, that means the unit discharge, because we are not storing water. Okay, and we are continuously providing discharge. Okay, water is continuously being diverted from the river to the canals, and it is therefore continuously being provided to the agricultural field. So it is a continuous discharge, hence its unit is hectares per discharge or hectares per cubic, and this is known as flow duty or just as duty. But there is another type of duty, okay, which we'll consider, that is now in storage irrigation. Now what is the example of storage irrigation? It is nothing but construction of a dam. What we do in a dam, a reservoir is formed on the upstream side and water is stored there, okay, and then that stored water is provided to the agricultural fields through canals. Now in storage irrigation, duty may sometimes be expressed in hectares per million cubic meter of water available in the reservoir. Okay, it eventually means that every million cubic meter of water available in the reservoir will mature so many hectares of a particular crop. Okay, now if you see here, the duty unit of duty here, it is hectares per million cubic meter. Now this million cubic meter, it is not a unit of discharge, it is the unit of volume. Okay, it is the unit of volume, whereas this cumex or meter cube per second, it was the unit of discharge. Okay, so in direct irrigation we are considering discharge, whereas in storage irrigation we are considering the volume, that too in millions. That is because in storage irrigation the water is stored, okay, and hence we'll calculate the total volume of water which is stored in the reservoir, okay, or which is available in the reservoir. And the meaning of this unit is, I'll just rub this again. It means that every million cubic meter, okay, or million meter cube, that means I can say this as 10 raised to 6 meter cube. Every 10 raised to 6 meter cube of water available in the reservoir will mature x amount of x hectares of a particular crop. Hence the irrigation capacity of the reservoir is directly known. Okay, how is it directly irrigation capacity of the reservoir, how is it directly known? Okay, we just have to know how much volume of water is present in the reservoir, and from that we can directly calculate the duty of water. Now this duty is known as quantity duty or storage duty. Okay, and we will study about quantity duty in detail in the second and the third unit. But in this unit we are going to study about just flow duty or duty in direct irrigation. Now during examinations, okay, when the word just duty comes, okay, जर एक्झाम मध्ये फक्त ड्युटी म्हणून दिला असेल क्वेश्चन मध्ये, तर तुम्ही कधी पण त्याला फ्लो ड्युटी म्हणून कन्सिडर करायचं. ओके, कधी पण फक्त ड्युटी म्हणून सांगितलं असेल तर फ्लो ड्युटी म्हणून कन्सिडर करायचं आणि त्याचं युनिट हेक्टर्स पर क्युमेक्स कन्सिडर करायचं. जेव्हा एक्झाम मध्ये स्पेसिफिकली क्वांटिटी ड्युटी किंवा स्टोरेज ड्युटी किंवा इरिगेशनला स्टोरेज इरिगेशन म्हणून सांगितलं असेल, तेव्हा तुम्ही फक्त ड्युटी यू हॅव टू टेक और कन्सिडर इट इन हेक्टर्स पर मिलियन cubic meter. Okay, so that is the difference between flow duty and quantity duty. Flow duty, we consider it in direct irrigation, that is where weir and barrages are constructed in river, and quantity duty we consider it in storage irrigation, where a dam is constructed and water is stored in the form of reservoir on the upstream side of dam. Okay, so moving forward, now this is important. Okay, he फॅक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग ड्युटी ऑफ वॉटर. हा क्वेश्चन तुम्हाला 2-3 पेपर गेले की एखाद्या पेपरला येतोच. ओके, थेरी क्वेश्चन म्हणून. सो व्हॉट आर द फॅक्टर्स विच विल अफेक्ट ड्युटी ऑफ वॉटर? So the duty of water will depend on the following factors, out of which first is the type of crop. So duty will be less for crop requiring more water and vice versa. That means duty will be less for crop requiring more water and duty will be more for crop requiring less water. ओके. तर हे कसं असतं, एखादं तुम्ही ॲग्रिकल्चरल फील्ड कन्सिडर करा. ओके. ज्याला तुम्ही 1 मीटर क्यूब, दॅट मीन्स युनिट डिस्चार्ज वॉटर तुम्ही प्रोव्हाइड करत आहात. ओके. तर जर तिथं त्या फील्डमध्ये तुम्ही जर शुगर केन जर तुम्ही प्लांट केलं तर शुगर केनला जास्ती पाणी लागतं. त्यामुळं द अमाऊंट ऑफ एरिया or the number of hectares the water will irrigate, it will be less. Okay. Similarly, if you plant peas, okay, now for example peas, it consumes very less amount of water. Okay. तर आपण काय करू शकतो, त्या सेम डिस्चार्ज साठी आपण वॉटर एक लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ लँड, ओके, और अ लार्ज एरिया ऑफ लँडला आपण ते प्रोव्हाइड करू शकतो. ओके. Next factor on which duty depends is, now duty depends upon climate and season. Now duty will include the water lost in evaporation and percolation, and as these losses differ with season and climate, duty will also differ. Okay. So if you are planting the same crop in different season, for example, okay, for example it is a cash crop which can, or a perennial crop which can be planted throughout the year, we will consider that crop. And if we plant that crop for example once in summer and then next in winter, okay, so what will happen in summer? During summer more water will be lost due to evaporation and percolation. Okay. Due to the heat of the sun and due to the soil being dry. But in winter season, less amount of water will be lost due to evaporation and percolation. Now during summer season, as more amount of water is lost, that means uh, more amount of water is taken by individual crops. It is required by individual crops. This is because uh, a significant amount of water will be lost due to evaporation. So as more discharge will be required, that means the duty will decrease. Okay, you have to understand this. The duty will decrease as more amount of water is required. Now in winter season there are less losses, okay, and hence discharge required or water requirement of the crops will be less, as less amount of water will be lost, and hence duty will be more during the winter season. Now third, and this is an important factor which affects the duty of water, that is useful rainfall. Now you have to consider one important point when we are talking about duty. Okay, duty of water. आता जेव्हा आपण ड्युटी ऑफ वॉटर बद्दल बोलतो तेव्हा कुठलं वॉटर, फक्त आपण तेव्हा इरिगेशन वॉटर बद्दल बोलत असतो. ओके. वी विल नॉट कन्सिडर द नॅचरल वॉटर विच विल बी प्रोव्हाइडेड टू द ॲग्रिकल्चरल फील्ड्स थ्रू द नॅचरल रेनफॉल और नॅचरल प्रेसिपिटेशन. ओके. सो ड्युटी ऑफ वॉटर जेव्हा मी सांगतो, that is just the duty of water which we are going to artificially provide. So if some of the rainwater falling on the agricultural fields is useful for the crop, okay, this is important. If some of the rainwater falling on the agricultural fields is useful for the crop, then less amount of irrigation water will be required for the crop. जेवढं जास्त तुमचं रेन वॉटर और नॅचरल वॉटर तुमचं ऍग्रिकल्चरल फील्ड यूज करेल, तेवढंच कमी तुम्हाला इरिगेशन और आर्टिफिशियल वॉटर प्रोव्हाइड करण्याची गरज कमी पडणार. ओके, and as less irrigation water will
Voice
be
break
required,
होते.
duty will be more. Okay, as less irrigation water will be required, duty will be more. Next, type of soil. If the permeability of soil is high, there will be more percolation losses. Okay, and if there are more percolation losses, that means more amount of water will be required by the field, and hence the duty will reduce. Okay, and the last factor which affects the duty of water, it is efficiency of cultivation methods. Okay, so this means that if the cultivation method applied are faulty and less efficient, wastage of water will be more, and hence duty of water will naturally decrease. Now, what are some examples of faulty and less efficient cultivation method? For example, if our agricultural field is not properly leveled, okay, that means the amount of water which you are providing to the field, okay, that will drain off through the slope. Okay, that means water will be wasted, and due to this wastage of water, duty of water will naturally decrease. Okay, so we have to apply more modern and more efficient cultivation method for increasing the duty. Okay, so I hope you understood the different factors which affect duty of water. First is the type of crop which you are going to plant. Next is the climate and season. Third is the useful rainfall or the rainfall which will be directly applied, which will directly fall on the agricultural field. Then fourth is the type of soil in which you are planting the crop, whether it is more permeable or less permeable. And last is the efficiency of our cultivation methods. Okay, now we will see what is the importance of duty. Okay, now as you know, okay, what is duty? It is the uh, area of the land in hectares that will be irrigated behind a unit discharge. Okay, that means if I'm providing 1 meter cube per second constant discharge of water throughout the base period, okay, I will see how much total area of the land the water can irrigate. Okay, now as you have seen in the previous slides, if the crop requires more amount of water, individual crop requires more amount of water, less area of land will be irrigated, and hence duty will be less. But if the crop requires more amount of water, okay, then that unit discharge can be used for a larger area. Okay, and hence we can say that duty will be uh, more. Another example is if there are number of evaporation and percolation losses, then I can say that that unit discharge will reach only to a very small area. Okay, but if there are very less percolation and evaporation losses, then the same amount of discharge will reach a very large area. Okay, it will cover a very large area, so the duty will be more if there are less losses. So this is how you understand the concept of duty. And but what is the importance of duty for us as irrigation engineers? Okay, so the most important important factor for studying duty is it helps us in designing an efficient canal irrigation system. Okay, now there are two different ways in which the study of duty or knowing the duty of individual crops help us. Okay, so how it will help us? So the first, if we know the total available water at the head of a main canal, okay, and we know the overall duty for all the crops required to be irrigated in different seasons of the year, then the area which can be irrigated can be worked out. Okay, now we'll see the second importance, and then we'll discuss these two importance. Inversely, now if we know the crop area required to be irrigated, okay, now we know the area of agricultural fields, okay, the total area of agricultural fields which we have to irrigate, and we know the individual duties of each crops, okay, during each season, okay, then we can work out the discharge required for designing the channel. Okay, this is important. So I'll explain both these points again. Now if our channel is uh, already constructed, if our irrigation system is already constructed, and we know the total available water at the head of the main canal, that means we know the water which will be discharged from the river to the canal head regulator through the main canal, we know that value of discharge, and we know the overall duty of all the crops required to be irrigated in different seasons of the year. We know these two factors. Then the total area in hectares or in square meters or in square kilometers which can be irrigated can be worked out. And second, now here what we have to do is, we have the different agricultural fields. Okay. We know the total amount of area either in hectares or in square meters or in kilometer of the total agricultural area in a particular region which has to be irrigated, and we know the duties of the different agricultural fields, of the different crops, of the different crops in different seasons. Okay, we know all the values of duties, then we can work out the discharge which will be required for designing the channel. We based on the value of duty and based on the total area which we know, we can calculate the discharge that will be required for designing the channel. So that is why we study the concept of duty. I hope you understood this. Now here there are given some duty of certain crops. Now if you see below, uh, crops such as hot fodder, perennials, rabi crops, kharif crops, the rabi crops and hot fodder crops, their duty is greatest. Okay, if you see this list, okay, their duty is the highest. That means in less amount of water, a larger area of the field can be irrigated, and it based on this I can also say that the delta of rabi and hot fodder crops is less. That means less amount of water is required for those crops. But if you see on the top two crops, that is sugarcane and rice, we have seen the delta of these two crops is very high. Okay. If you remember the value, it is 120 centimeter. Okay, that is the total depth of water which is required during its total base period. And as you can see here, the value of duty for these two crops is very low. One second. So we can say that based on this, greater the water requirement of the crop, less will be the duty, and lesser the water requirement, greater will be the duty. Now lastly, there are just 10 minutes remaining. We'll study the last point, that is methods of improving duty, how we can improve the duty of a crop. Now there are general values of duty of different crops, as we have seen in the last slide. For example, for sugarcane crops, the duty was 730 hectares per cubic. Okay, which meant that for a 1 meter cube per second continuous discharge throughout the whole base period, only 730 hectares can be irrigated. Whereas if we saw rabi crops, if you provide 1 meter cube per second of water continuously, then total of 1800 hectares can be irrigated. Now these are the general values, but we can improve these values of duty for different crops by utilizing different methods. Okay, so the first method, these are the methods which should be used by the individual farmers and the agriculture engineers or agriculture scientists, that is precautions in field preparation and sowing. So what is the first precaution that we have to take in order to improve the duty of the field? Land which is to be used for cultivation should as far as possible be leveled. This is because if there is some amount of slope, the water will drain away. Okay, so for that particular field, more amount of water will be required by the crop, because uh, no matter how much water we provide, some amount of water is always going to be draining away due to the slope. So we have to keep our agricultural field as level as possible. Next is, the fields should be properly plowed to the required depth. Okay, uh, if we properly plow the field to the required depth, the soil get aerated. Okay, they get the required amount of oxygen, which helps in the soil retaining more amount of water. Okay, and if the soil retains more amount of water, then the duty can be of a crop can be improved. Then next is the im- we have to use improved modern cultivation methods. Okay, because as I showed you in the last slide, by us using old and faulty cultivation methods, the duty of the crop is reduced. Next is, the porous soil should be treated before sowing crops to reduce seepage of water. Okay, so what is the problem with porous soil? Okay, as you can see, this is the ground surface, okay, on which the crop will grow, and this zone between the aquifer and the ground, this zone is the soil zone. Okay, soil zone. Now if this soil zone is very porous, so the water will travel very fast downwards to the rocky region, okay, which is the aquifer, and it will form groundwater. So there will be less amount of water for the crops. Okay, so great porous soil means that the water retaining capacity of the soil is reduced, and hence the water requirement of crop increases due to it. So these soils should be treated before sowing the crops so they can retain water more. Next is, alkaline soils should be properly leached before sowing. Now, what is the problem of alkaline soils? Now, alkaline soils are formed on the surface of the earth. Now, they are formed due to the overview, overuse of fertilizers. And what happens due to alkaline soils is, there is a layer of alkalinity formed which prevents the water from being infiltrated into the soil. So the water will remain on only on the surface itself. Okay, it will not be infiltrated into the soil. And as we know, the water which is required by the crops is taken by its root from the soil zone. So due to the alkaline soil on the surface, the water does not reach that soil zone. So it should be properly, alkaline soil should be properly leached before sowing. Next, manure fertilizers should be added to increase water holding capacity of the soil. Instead of using artificial fertilizers, we can use natural, that is manure fertilizers, which help in increasing the water retaining capacity or water holding capacity of the soil. And lastly, the rotation of crops should be preferred. Rotation of crops means in different seasons we sow different crops. Okay, so these are the precautions in field preparation and sowing. Now these field precautions should be undertaken by the agricultural engineers and the respective farmers. Okay, next, precautions, precaution in handling irrigation supplies. Now as irrigation we have to deal with these precautions in order to improve the duty. First is, the source of irrigation water should be situated within prescribed limits. That means the main canal and the river from which the main canal is off taking, that source should be close to the individual agricultural fields. This is because the greater the distance between the river or the source of water and the agricultural field, greater losses will occur during the transportation. Okay, next precaution we have to take, canals carrying irrigation water should be lined to reduce seepage. Okay, now these lined and unlined canal, I hope you have studied in the hydraulics one subject. Okay, type of open channels. Now unlined canals are the canals which they have just been excavated. Okay, आपण काय अनलाईन कॅनल कशाला म्हणतो आपण, ते कॅनॉल्स नॅचरल कॅनॉल्स, म्हणजे आपण काय करतो, फक्त त्या डिगिंग करतो आणि त्याच्यावरती आपण कॉन्क्रीटचं लेयर और कॉन्क्रीटचं बेस लावत नाही. बट लाइंड कॅनॉल्स आर वन विच आर लाइंड विथ कॉन्क्रीट ऑन ऑल द साइड्स ऑफ द ओपन चॅनल. आता जेव्हा आपण कॉन्क्रीट लाइनिंग करत नाही एखाद्या कॅनॉलचं, ओके, त्याचा बेड काय असतो, नॅचरल बेड मेड अप ऑफ रॉक्स अँड सॉइल. तर त्याच्यामध्ये प्रॉब्लेम काय होतो, देर इज high amount of seepage while water is transporting through the unlined canals. What happens is there is more amount of seepage on all the three sides of the canal. Okay, if you remember, or naturally canals are in trapezoidal shape. Okay, and if these three sides of the canals are not lined, then the water will infiltrate into this and the water losses will be increased. Next, in case of pipe system, RCC pipe may be used to reduce field water requirement. Okay, because the water losses through RCC pipes is very less as compared to the iron pipes or as compared to even PVC pipes. So when instead of direct or open channel irrigation system, we are using pipe irrigation system, then RCC pipes should be preferred. Next precaution is, free flooding of field should be avoided and furrow irrigation method should be preferably used. Okay, so while when we are using if you remember method of distribution of water, there were three methods: surface irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, and subsurface irrigation. So if you are going to use surface irrigation, then free flooding of field should be avoided, and instead of that, furrow irrigation method should be used. Okay, in furrow irrigation method, what we do is we excavate depressions, and then we uh, that depression, the soil from that depression we carry, and we create an elevated bed on which we will sow the crops. Now, what is the use of furrow irrigation method as compared to free flooding method? B75 roll number. Please mute yourself. Okay. So in a furrow irrigation method, less amount of water is exposed to the sun. Okay, less amount of surface of water is exposed to the sun, and hence evaporation losses are reduced as compared to free flooding. So when we are using surface irrigation method, furrow irrigation method is to be preferred. Now, subsurface and drip irrigation method should be preferred to ordinary surface irrigation method. Now, if we have a choice between whether to use surface irrigation, sprinkler, or subsurface irrigation method, then we should use subsurface and drip irrigation method as compared to surface irrigation method. So these are the uh, precautions we as irrigation engineers that we have to take. I hope you understood this. I will stop the lecture here. Okay. Now I will take your attendance based on the participant list. Okay. You don't have to reply to me. I'll just okay. I've taken the attendance now. So thank you. I think we'll stop our lecture here.